frigid temperatures outside and snow on the ground. And before the storm of tomorrow, it's the swim meet of tonight. We welcome you to Gateway High School, Henry J. Furry Complex, as the Elizabeth Forward Warriors take on the Gateway Gators here on Gateway Gators Productions. Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Spencer Witt. The last time we had a broadcast for Gateway Swimming, it was against Armstrong, the Riverhawks. And in that one, it was only one diver for Gateway and only one male swimmer for the Riverhawks. This time, though, the Elizabeth Forward, the Warriors, will be in town in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. They have a few divers on hand, as well as several boys on their swim team. As you take a look at some of the divers warming up here prior to their dives here in this one. A lot of team members have qualified for WPIALs already with their own scheduled times, and of course, as we approach near the end of WPIAL time, we still got a little bit more meets left throughout this season, about a month or so more. It will be the Warriors and the Gators squaring off again. Last time we had a broadcast here for Gateway Gators, the girls of Armstrong and the girls of Gateway actually tied each other in the competition. Of course, it's based on a lot of things, scoring based on your position of how you finish, and obviously based on your participation positions as well, but a lot of things for diving and swimming teams especially is that they both want to qualify for WPIALs. As the diving portion underway here, and we'll step aside and have the divers go for the first time.
Our first diver from Gateway, Bailey Steele, 402C, inward, one somersault, up, 1.6.
Steele with her first dive of the evening. Bailey Steele, the only diver for the Gateway Gators. Now to look at this one. 5.5, 5.5. Steele is qualified in the match against the Riverhawks we saw earlier. Another look at that one. It looked like it was a bit of a miscue there on the dive there. It was a close one. 4.0 and 4.0 for the first diver for the Warriors.
Forward, Riley Emzarek, 402C. Riley Emzarek, 402C, inward, one somersault, tuck, 1.6.
Inward one somersault tuck for Riley Emzarek. Her first dive of the evening.
5.5, 4.5.
5.5 and 4.5 for Emzarek.
From Elizabeth Forward, Aaliyah Jackson, 401B, inward dive, pike, 1.5.
Inward dive pike from Aaliyah Jackson, her first dive of the evening.
6.0, 5.0.
6 and 5 scores for Jackson. Montaz Cazal for the Gators, 3.0, 4.5 in his first dive.
Final diver in round 1 from Elizabeth forward, Garrett Wiedmeyer. 401C, inward dive, tuck 1.4.
4.0 and 4.0 for Garrett Wiedmeyer. Only male diver for Elizabeth forward.
Bailey Steele. 403C, inward, 1.5 somersaults, tuck 2.2.
Inward 1.5 somersault tuck for Bailey Steele. Steele with a 4.0, 4.5. Coming out of the water, didn't like her dive there, shaking her head.
Forward, Autumn Hughes, 402C, inward, 1 somersault, tuck 1.6.
Second dive of the evening for Autumn Hughes there as you look at your replay. 4.5 and 4.5.
5223D. Back, 1 somersault with 1.5 twists, 2.3.
Another look at this one from Riley Emzerak.
From Elizabeth forward, Aaliyah Jackson. 202A, back, 1 somersault, straight, 1.7.
Second dive there from Aaliyah Jackson. 5.5 to 5.0 for her.
Montaz Cazal. 201A, back dive, straight, 1.7.
Second dive of the evening there from Gateway's only male diver, Montaz Cazal, the junior for the Gators. Look at that one.
1 somersault, tuck 1.6.
Wheatmeyer's second dive there for the Warriors, 4.5 and 4.0.
Bailey Steele.
Bailey Steele up again for the Gators.
Back,
Sang the national
one
anthem
somersault,
prior
straight,
to her
1.7.
dives. An impressive rendition, to say the least.
From Elizabeth forward, Autumn Hughes. 202A, back, one somersault, straight, 1.7.
Two 4.0s for Autumn Hughes in her third dive.
From Elizabeth forward, Riley Emzarek. 5222D, back, one somersault with one twist, 1.9.
A nice dive there from Riley Emzarek for the Warriors. And Leah Jackson, her third dive of the evening.
204C, back, two somersaults, tuck, 2.0.
Back two somersaults tuck from Aaliyah Jackson for the Warriors.
3.5.
4 and 3.5 for Jackson.
From Gateway, Montaz Cazal, 202C, back, one somersault, tuck, 1.5.
Third dive from Montaz Cazal. 2.0 and a 3.0 for Cazal.
Final diver in round 3 from Elizabeth forward.
And take a look at Autumn Hughes's dive, or excuse me, Aaliyah Jackson's dive there.
Back, one somersault, straight,
And Garrett Wheatmeyer, final dive this evening for the Warriors. Five out of 5.5 from Garrett Wheatmeyer. He scores in his final dive.
In round 4 from Gateway, Bailey Steele, 5221D. Back, one somersault with a half twist, free, 1.7.
And the junior in her fourth dive, 5.5 and 5.5.
From Elizabeth forward.
Another look at it, 4 steal.
5221D. Back, 1 somersault with a half twist, 1.7.
Autumn Hughes up for Elizabeth forward.
Four point five, 4.0.
4.5 and 4.0 for Hughes. Another look.
From Elizabeth forward, Riley Emzerak, 204C. Back, 2 somersaults. Tuck, 2.0.
Emzerak's fourth dive, 3.5, 3.5.
From Elizabeth forward, Aaliyah Jackson.
Aaliyah Jackson up for the fourth time.
Forward, 2 somersaults. Tuck, 2.2.
Forward 2 somersaults for Jackson. Another look at this dive from Jackson. 2 somersaults there.
4.0, 3.0.
And a 4 and 3 for Jackson. That'll bring up Montaz Cazal again. Fourth dive for Cazal.
101A, forward dive, straight, 1.4. Repeating a dive. 101A, forward dive, straight, 1.4. This will be a 101C forward dive, tuck, 1.2.
101C forward tuck, excuse me, for Cazal.
.5, 4.0.
3.5 to 4.0.
Final diver in round 4 from Elizabeth forward, Garrett Liebmeyer. 5231D. Back, 1.5 somersaults with a half twist, 2.1.
Garrett Wheatmeyer in his fourth dive.
4.0, 4.0.
4.0 and 4.0 for Wheatmeyer.
In round 5, from Gateway, Bailey Steele. 5122D. Forward, 1 somersault with 1 twist. Free, 1.9. 5.0, 4.5.
Steals fifth dive. 5.0 and a 4.5. Another look at it.
From Elizabeth forward on cues. 102B. Forward, one somersault. Pike, 1.5.
Forward somersault for Autumn Hughes and a 4.0 and 4.5 our fifth dive.
From Elizabeth forward, Riley Emzerak. 104C. Forward, two somersaults. Tuck, 2.2.
Forward somersault tuck for Riley Emzerak. 6.0 and a 5.0. Impressive scores from Emzerak. Another look at it.
From Elizabeth forward, Aaliyah Jackson. 5.1.
So taking that approach and then the
forward,
high bounce and
one twist.
Somersault. Fives apiece for Aaliyah Jackson. That'll bring up Motaz Kazal for the Gators.
Kazal, 5111A. Forward dive with a half twist, straight, 1.8.
Forward dive, half twist, straight for Motaz Kazal.
$1.5 to 2.0.
1.5 to 2.0 for Kazal.
Final diver in round 5 from Elizabeth forward, Garrett Wiedmeyer. 302C, reverse, one somersault, tuck, 1.6.
Reverse somersault tuck for Garrett Wiedmeyer in his fifth dive for Elizabeth forward.
$4.0, 4.0.
4.0 and 4.0 for Wiedmeyer.
This is round 6 in our final round of diving. First diver from Gateway, Bailey Steele. 103B, forward, 1.5 somersaults, pike, 1.7.
Final dive for the junior Bailey Steele for Gateway. Five five and a 5.5 for Bailey Steele.
From Elizabeth forward, Autumn Hughes. 5121D. Forward, one somersault with a half twist, 1.7.
Autumn Hughes final dive. Forward half somersault twist.
4.0, 4.5.
4.0 and 4.5 for Hughes.
From Elizabeth forward, Riley Emzerac. 403C. Inward, 1.5 somersaults. Tuck, 2.2.
Inward 1.5 somersaults for Riley Emzerac's final dive. .4.0 to 4.0 on the board for Emzerac. Another look at it.
From Elizabeth forward, Aaliyah Jackson. 402C.
Final girl to dive for this evening, Aaliyah Jackson.
1.6. .5.0, 4.5.
5.0 and 4.5 for Aaliyah Jackson.
From Gateway, Montaz Khazal. 301A, reverse dive straight, 1.8.
Another look at Cazal's dive.
Final diver in
Cazal's
round
dive,
6.
not the proper dive, so
And for the evening,
scoreless on that one.
104C, forward, 2 somersaults, tuck, 2.2.
Wheatmeyer, get a nice round of applause. Forward 2 somersaults tuck for Wheatmeyer, and a 5.5 and 5.5 for Garrett Wheatmeyer, and that'll end the diving portion.
Swimmers for event lunch and the blocks and timers, please report to the deck. We will get started in about 5 or 6 minutes. Thank you.
So about a 5-minute pause here before the event start. We'll step aside real quick as well here on this one, here on Gateway Gators Productions. Out the gate here in the first event, it's the girls' 200-yard medley relay. Lane 3, Paige Wynand. Lane 4, Sydney Boyd of Elizabeth forward. The Gators in lane 5, McKenna Brown. Autumn Cubes in lane 6 for Elizabeth forward, and it's lanes 4 and 5 that are off to a good start as lane 4, Sydney Boyd gets to the wall first. That'll bring on Juliana Egan in the butterfly. But a good jump off of the block for for Aaliyah Rayson for Gateway. At the wall, again, a nice swim there for Gianna Laurenti, excuse me. Now it's Aaliyah Raysani who is out for the Gators in lane 5. In lane number 4, Brooke Yurkovich, the third swimmer. Lane number 3, Paige Kessler, has gone on, and just off of the gate for Elizabeth Forward in lane 6 is Mia Smith. And at the wall, it's Gateway first with Aaliyah Raison. Now the final swimmer in this relay, Mallory Brown in lane number 5. Lane number 4, Madison Alessio. But it will be Mallory Brown and lane number 5 for the Gators at the wall. Brown will get it with a time of 1:59.35. 2:04.76 for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. And crossing the wall in lane number 6 lane number 3 for Gateway, Kira Sandor. And lane number 6, Emma Leach, will round things out for the Warriors. 2:21 for lane number 3, and the final score, or final time of 2:39.63 for lane number 6 for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. Now the boys' 200-yard medley relay. 4 lanes here in this one as well, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Out in lane 3 for Gateway, it's Riley Walker. Lane 4, Ethan Glessner for Elizabeth Forward. For the Gators, Benjamin Echegaray is in lane 5, and Nick Crossett is in lane 6 for the Warriors. And the backstroke right now at the lead is a lane number 4, Ethan Glessner, about a body length. Diving in now as Elizabeth Forward with the lead in lane number 4 again. Thomas Fine, the senior. The butterfly. Right behind him, though, is Owen Echegaray. Brandon Kurtz and Garrett Weitmeyer finish it up in the butterfly as well, and neck here for the second swimmers in lanes 4 and 5, and now diving into the pool. Get the 200 relay. Actually, this is the butterfly, my apologies. Is Brody Wagley and Mark DePalma. DePalma has the lead for Brody Wagley. Diving in now, final swimmers of the 200 medley. Bryce McLaughlin and Colton Park, neck and neck. Park, McLaughlin with the slight lead. Park right behind him at the wall. It looks like it is gonna be McLaughlin. 1:47.95, Park with a 1:48.01. Adam Pugliano hits the wall for Gateway, and hitting the wall for Elizabeth Forward, Connor Egan in the final event there. And that one, in finishing this one off, Motaz Kazal. Final swim there from Motaz Kazal. 2:27.71 for team lane number 3. 2:05.69 for lane number 6. 200-yard freestyle up next. Girls 200-yard freestyle. 4 swimmers in this one. 3 of them from Gateway, 1 for Elizabeth Forward. Elizabeth Forward in lane 4, Gateway in lane 3, 5, and 7.
Swimming for Elizabeth Forward in lane 4, and swimming through
200-yard freestyle and into the water first, and with the lead is lane number 5. That's Gianna Laurenti. Gateway, a dominating performance right now in lane 3 and 7. It's Paige Winan and Kira Sandor. Jayla Ringbloom leads or rounds out the remainder here for Elizabeth Forward, but off the turn, it's still lane 5. Gianna Laurenti, the sophomore for Gateway. Laurenti at the wall, has a commanding lead. Takes the turn. Back over again. Second place now is lane number 3. Paige Winan, the senior for the Gators. One of 6 seniors on the squad for Gateway. Lane number 7, Kira Sandor. Not too far behind, and then Jayla Ringbloom, the freshman for Elizabeth Forward, rounding out the order, but at the wall here and making the turn is the leader, Gianna Laurenti. Laurenti with an impressive pace right now, 1:37 on the clock. Winan has hit the wall as well. Laurenti has passed Jayla Ringbloom for Elizabeth Forward. Sandor at the wall as well. And for the Gators in lane number 5, 34-21 on that split. And a final time of 2:12.10 for lane number 5, Gianna Laurenti. Paige Winan, the senior, will hit the wall here as well. 39.50 on that split. And a 2:32.58. Kira Sandor at the line, 42.27 on the split. The total time, 2:41.97. And finishing this off, final turn for Jayla Ringbloom. As Ringbloom continues to push forward for Elizabeth Forward in the 200-yard freestyle. And at the wall, final time for Ringbloom, 3:15.49.
This is event number 4, the boys.
I'll bring up the boys for 200-yard freestyle. 6 swimmers in this one, 3 for Elizabeth Forward, 3 for Gateway. 3 sophomores, a freshman, and 2 seniors. Diving in off of the block, and it goes Elizabeth Forward, Gateway, repeating. Elizabeth Forward in lanes 2, 4, and 6. Gateway in 3, 5, and 7. Nick Crossit in lane 2. Matt Vietmeyer in lane 4. Garrett Vietmeyer in lane 6. And for Gateway, Adam Pugliano in lane 3. Colton Park in lane 5. Riley Walker in lane 7. And taking the turn with the lead, the slight lead right now, is lane number 4, Matt Vietmeyer. Colton Park is right behind him, though, in lane number 5. In third is Nick Crossit. Garrett Vietmeyer right behind him as well. And then Adam Pugliano and Riley Walker for Gateway, but it's still Vietmeyer, Matt Vietmeyer, the sophomore, with the slight lead in lane number 4. Adam Pugliano in lane number 3. But Colton Park for Gateway. The top Gateway swimmer right now is third and fourth are Elizabeth Forward. Vietmeyer makes the turn, and Park right behind him. at the wall here now for the final lap. 32.46 and a 32.18, so Park has actually picked up time in that split, but he's still a second behind. Wiedmeyer with the lead in lane number 4. Park has started to pick up just a little bit of momentum in lane 5. Elizabeth Forward still takes second or third and fourth, but Park with a great turn, and now it's neck and neck. At the wall, Park and Wiedmeyer. Wiedmeyer with the slight lead, but who will touch the wall first? It's gonna be close. And it's lane number 5, 2/100ths of a second for Colton Park. 2:01.17 versus a 2:01.19 of Matt Wiedmeyer. An impressive comeback for Colton Park, who muscled his way in the last turn, an incredible turn, the last 50 yards. And caught up for that one, lane number 3, or lane number 2, excuse me, finishing in third. Nick Crossett. Garrett Wiedmeyer finishing in fourth.
2/100ths of a second. Great swim, guys.
Riley Walker finishes fifth, and rounding out is Adam Pugliano.
Girls 200-yard individual medley.
And now the girls' 200-yard individual medley.
Let's go, girls!
3 girls in this one, 2 for Gateway and 1 for Elizabeth Forward. Again, 2/100ths of a second. The difference in that last meet. We'll see what happens here in the 200 individual medley. Paige Kessler in lane number 3, Mallory Brown in lane number 5 for Gateway, and for Elizabeth Forward, it's Madison Alessio in lane number 4, and Mallory Brown at the wall first for Gateway. Kessler has caught up to Alessio. They're neck and neck for second right now. Mallory Brown with a bit of a lead in lane number 5. Touches the wall and back now on the backstroke. Mallory Brown again cruising through on the breaststroke, or the backstroke, excuse me. Kessler with the turn. An early turn for her gives her a slight advantage now over Alessio. Mallory Brown at the wall, 39-16 in that split. Now forward on the butterfly for Mallory Brown. Brown has the lead, about half a pool length right now. Kessler a little bit ahead of Alessio. Mallory Brown at the wall, 43-32. 152-69 right now. Swing freestyle now for Mallory Brown. Kessler hits the wall second, 51-57, 208. And Alessio with a 210 right now is Brown. Passes Alessio and Kessler, and at the wall for Mallory Brown, 34-86. And a total of 2:27.55, and now Kessler half a length ahead of Alessio. Kessler will get to the wall first. 37-37, 36.89 for Alessio. Had a better split that time, but 2:45.47 and a 2:46.97 for both swimmers, respectively.
This is event number 6, the boys 200-yard individual medley.
Now the boys 200-yard individual medley. Four swimmers in this one. 2 for Elizabeth forward, 2 for Gateway. Ben Etchegaray in lane number 3 for Gateway. Mark DePalma in lane number 5. Thomas Fine and Tyler Johnson in lane 4 and 6 for Elizabeth forward. It's DePalma with the slight lead over Fine. Etchegaray is right behind them as well, and then Tyler Johnson, the sophomore, rounds out the field, but right now it's DePalma at the wall. Right behind him now in the backstroke. Thomas Fine right near him, neck and neck. The turn now, DePalma with a bit of a lead, extends his lead about a length of a person now. And even Etchegaray is not too far behind them as well, and then Tyler Johnson making his turn, halfway point of the backstroke. Now forward, it's DePalma with the lead. At the wall for DePalma. DePalma ahead of Fine. Thomas Fine. Fine has picked up a little bit though and has tried to catch up. Good turn from DePalma, and now freestyle. DePalma with the lead. Etchegaray has touched the wall. He's on his 4th and final stroke. Johnson finishing up his 3rd stroke, but DePalma with the turn. Final length of the pool for Mark DePalma. And DePalma at the wall. He'll take first in this event. 30-31 on the split. And a final time of 2:11.69. And Thomas Fine, the senior, 2:15.44. Etchegaray, Ben Etchegaray touches the wall, 35-34. 2:26.98. And now Tyler Johnson, the sophomore, will be finishing freestyle stroke on his final lap. Tyler Johnson, the sophomore. Again, there are 2 seniors, a junior and a sophomore, the youngest competitor in this event here for the boys 200-yard individual medley. At the wall, and a final time of 3:20.70 for Tyler Johnson. Again, it was Mark DePalma who took the victory in that one. Just giving you a little score update in terms of overall scores. It was A 25-20 lead right now for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors on the boys' side. The girls' side, 33-9 lead for the Gators. Now the 50-yard freestyle. Cheyenne Park in lane 1, Emma Leach in lane 2, Addison Hellman in lane 3, Mia Smith in lane 4, McKenna Brown in 5, Autumn Coobs in lane 6, and Kaylee Kurtz in lane number 7. 4 Gators and 3 Warriors. And in lane number 5, McKenna Brown. At the wall for Brown. Second place will be Addison Hellman. Emma Leach finishes 3rd. But the top score was lane number 5, 26:51 for McKenna Brown. Correction, Mia Smith finishing in 3rd. Cheyenne Park in 6th. Kaylee Kurtz in 7th. Or Kaylee Kurtz in 5th, and in 7th is Autumn Coobs. And now for the boys' 50-yard freestyle. 5 swimmers in this one. Off the block, Brian Lynn in lane number 2, Dallas Richardson in 3, Brody Wegley in 4, Kaden Gibson in 5, and Bryce McLaughlin in lane number 6. It's a close one. 4 different swimmers are neck and neck here at the turn. It's lane number 5 with the lead. Now lane number 3, that's Brody Wegley. For correction, that's Dallas Richardson. Richardson, I believe, is the one who got it. Yes, he did. Richardson at the wall. And then Bryce McLaughlin at 24:17, but a 23:94 for lane number 3, Dallas Richardson, a freshman for the Gators. You see second, 24:17. Finishing in 3rd was lane number 5, Kaden Gibson. In 4th was lane number 4, Brody Wegley, and in 5th was Brian Lynn. We'll have a quick intermission here. We come back, we'll have the 100-yard butterfly. We'll stop momentarily. I'll go anywhere here. A swim meet between the Elizabeth Forward Warriors and the Gateway Gators here on Gateway Gators Productions.
In fourth place, with a score of 121.26, from Elizabeth Forward, Autumn Hughes. In third place, with a score of 142.57, from Elizabeth Forward, Riley Hemzerek. In second place, with a score of 148.42, from Elizabeth Forward, Aaliyah Jackson. And in first place with a score of 166.94, from Gateway, Bailey Steele. Results of event 10, boys diving. In second place with a final score of 67.80, from Gateway, Montaz Khazal. And in first place with a score of 144.67, from Elizabeth Forward, Garrett Wiedmeyer. Congratulations to all our swimmers. Coaches need to pick up their diving sheets. This is event number 11, girls 100-yard butterfly. Swimming for Elizabeth Forward in lane 4, Sydney Boyd.
Back for the 11th event here on Gateway Gators Productions. It's the girls 100-yard butterfly. 3 swimmers in this one, 2 for the Gators and 1 for Elizabeth Forward. Paige Kessler is in lane 3. Aaliyah Rassiani is in lane number 5. And for lane number 4, it's Sydney Boyd in the 100-yard butterfly. Rassiani, the freshman. Sydney Boyd, also a freshman for Elizabeth Forward. 2 freshmen leading for the event right now. Paige Kessler rounds out the top 3 in lane number 3. But at the wall, it will be Aaliyah Rassiani. At the wall, the final time of 101.17. Sydney Boyd, 107.64. And Paige Kessler, as she touches the wall here as well. Final time for Kessler, 48.07 on the lap, and a final time of 122.67. Now the boys 100-yard butterfly. Dallas Richardson in lane 3 for the Gators. Bryce McLaughlin in lane number 4 for Elizabeth Forward. Owen Etchegaray in lane number 5 for the Gators. And Matt Wiedmeyer, the sophomore, in lane number 6 for the Gators, who had that close event earlier on in the 200-yard medley. And at the wall at lane number 5, Owen Etchegaray. Dallas Richardson is in second right now. Right behind him, though, is Bryce McLaughlin, and then lane number 6, Matt Wiedmeyer. Etchegaray takes the turn. Oh, and Etchegaray here on the 100-yard butterfly. He will get to the wall. 30.56 on the lap. Richardson will touch the wall as well. 32.63 on the lap. 56.20 for Owen Etchegaray. Richardson, 1 minute and 39 seconds. Bryce McLaughlin, 105.43. Matt Wiedmeyer with a 109.63. Real quick, we have some time. Want to name the orders of the diving event. They finished that one. And it was Hughes in fourth, Emerzak in third, Jackson in first, and Riley Steele in first for the girls' side. On the other side, the boys' side, Montaz Cazal in second, and Garrett Wheatmeyer for Elizabeth Forward finishing in first in the diving portion. Now the girls' 100-yard freestyle. Samantha Caruso in lane number 1. Jayla Ringbloom in lane 2. Addison Hellman in lane number 3. Juliana Egan in lane 4. McKenna Brown in lane 5. Allison Glessner in lane 6. And Lydia DePalma in lane 7. As it rotates Gateway, Elizabeth Forward Gateway throughout the lanes. First lap is lane number 5, McKenna Brown. Lane number 3 and 6 are neck and neck as well. Addison Hellman and Allison Glessner, the top Elizabeth Forward swimmer right now. Lane number 4 is in 4th place. That's Juliana Egan. And Brown taking the turn in lane number 5. McKenna Brown. A comfortable lead for McKenna Brown, at the wall for her. And in lane number 3, Addison Hellman hits the wall. Right behind her was Allison Glessner. Lane number 4, Juliana Egan. Lane number 7, Lydia DePalma. And a close one here between lane number 1 and number 2. And it was Samantha Caruso who beats out Jayla Ringbloom. A final time, and the winning time, 58:27 in lane number 5 for McKenna Brown. As her twin sister Mallory Brown congratulates her. And now for the boys' 100-yard freestyle. Nathan Peruzo in lane number 2, Caden Gibson in 3, Ethan Glessner in 4, Colton Park in 5, Connor Egan in 6, and Brandon Kurtz in 7. And right out the gate, it's lane number 4 with the slight lead. Ethan Glessner, Colton Park, and Caden Gibson are close as well, and it's Park who is trying to catch up to Glessner. Ethan Glessner, the senior. He'll make the turn first. A good turn, though, by Park, and now it's neck and neck. The 4th and 5th lane in the 100-yard freestyle. Gibson is not too far behind, but making a good turn as well. It's Colton Park. Can Glessner catch up? Park, half a person length ahead, and at the wall it will be lane number 5, Colton Park, who touches the wall first. Glessner in 2nd, Gibson in 3rd, Egan in 4th, Pizzuto in 5th, and in 6th is Brandon Kurtz. And the winning time, 53:63. From that man right there, lane number 5, Colton Park. Public address announcer announcing that it's time to kick back in your recliner and order some pizza. And if you're at home, you can kick back in your recliner for this one. It's the 500-yard freestyle, the real endurance event here in a swim meet. 4 swimmers in this one. Out the gate in lane number 3, Alicia McMullen. Brooke Yurkovich is in lane number 4. Lane number 5 is Mallory Brown. In lane number 6 for Elizabeth forward, the sophomore Emma Leach. First length of the pool and first turn, and pretty neck and neck between Yurkovich and Brown. The sophomore Yurkovich and Mallory Brown, the senior. Yurkovich with the slight lead. As 50 yards are gone. Length number 3 for the Gators and the Warriors. And Yurkovich still with the slight lead. Yurkovich. Length number 5 here as the teammates putting the signs in the water to signify what length they're at in the pool here. And in lane number 4, Brooke Yurkovich makes a turn, and Mallory Brown not too far behind her. Her sister, McKenna Brown, just won the girls 100-yard freestyle. About a lap behind them is lane number 6, Emma Leach, and Alicia McMullen behind her as well. Head coach for Gateway telling her sister, who's holding the sign, McKenna Brown, to let her keep her pace. She's on pace with Brooke Yurkovich. When you put that sign in the pool, when you start moving it around, that's the motion to try and pick it up a little bit, try and push yourself a little more. You don't want to go too fast and use all your energy early on in this one. You see the teammate for Yurkovich trying to push her teammate as well. It's neck and neck again. Emma Leach has hit length number 9. McMullen at 7th length. Length number 13. Now Brown with a little bit of a lead. Mallory Brown in lane number 5. Over Yurkovich. At the wall, they're a little under a 4-minute mark right now. 35:29 on the lap, 3:53 and a 3:54. Now Mallory Brown is starting to pick up a little bit of a distance on Brooke Yurkovich. .427 mark on that lap total, on the total of 4:30 for Yurkovich. Leach is at her 13th length, and Alicia McMullen at her 9th length of the pool. hear the horn, meaning the final lap for Brown, as Mallory Brown is now starting to really pick it up. Jurkovic behind her, but the distance has gotten a little bit greater now. Brown, the final turn for her, and so is Jurkovic as well. At the wall for Gateway, 5:36.45 for the senior Mallory Brown, 5:39.98 for Brooke Jurkovic. And McMullen on length number 11. Emma Leach, 17th. Now, Emma Leach, the sophomore for Elizabeth Forward, has taken the turn for her final lap. And taking the turn, Emma Leach. And Leach, just a little over the 7-minute time here in this one. Final time of 7:09 for the sophomore. And now Alicia McMullen. Just like our last broadcast, this is the only event, I believe, Alicia McMullen is listed as participating in. There's absolutely no doubt it is one of the toughest events. She's listed in one other event in the 400-yard freestyle relay, the final women's event. I can't stress this enough when I say that this is not an easy event. This is not something that a lot of people can just jump into a pool and do. To swim, 50 yards, 100 yards, that's one thing. A lot of people that could do it, might not be at a good time, but a lot of people that could do that. To do a 500-yard freestyle is an endurance within itself. And Alicia crosses, or will hit length number 15 here. We've crossed the 8-minute mark. Alicia McMullen, one of 4 seniors on the girls' side for Gateway. Mallory Brown, McKenna Brown, and Paige Wienen. Paige Wienen, excuse me. Paige being the marker for her, the lap counter for her. You take a look at all the seniors there. There's Alicia McMullen. Continues to keep moving. That's the biggest part. Just keep moving. Keep moving those arms, and her teammates are telling her to try and keep moving those legs a little more. Kicking them legs a little more, as now she's starting to kick the legs. Again, one of the hardest events here, and no matter your time, you want to constantly improve your own time. That's kind of what a lot of these meets are for, especially in individual events, is just getting yourself better at these times. And for Alicia McMullen, she's got a better time. I believe she's on pace for a better time than the last time we were broadcasting in the meet against Armstrong, as she approaches her final length of the pool. As you see Paige putting the orange rectangles into the water, signaling the final push for McMullen. Now she's really starting to pick up, really pushing this last bit here. An impressive final length of the pool here for Alicia McMullen, who will touch the wall and will finish her event. And will finish the event for the girls' 500-yard freestyle. 11:21.
Don't you worry, we have another one. This is event 16, boys 500-yard freestyle. All the ladies decided to be more laps to balance the names of our racers in 16.
And the girls will take a little bit of a cool down lap. After swimming so many laps, I understand why. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to argue, but my goodness, after swimming that much, I can't imagine just agreeing to do more. But you got to keep yourself loose, keep yourself active, and keep yourself accustomed to the water, acclimated to the motions. Now the boys' 500-yard freestyle. Lane number 2 for Elizabeth Forward, Connor Egan. Lane number 3, Motaz Kazal for Gateway, the junior. Lane number 4, the sophomore, Brody Wagley for Elizabeth Forward. The sophomore for Gateway, Riley Walker in lane number 5. And in lane number 6 for Elizabeth Forward, Nick Crosett. Out the gate, it's Elizabeth Forward. All 3 of their swimmers in first, second, and third. So far, lane number 4 is the one with the lead right now. It's Brody Wagley. Lane number 6, Nick Crosett. And in lane number 2, Connor Egan. Top swimmer for Gateway right now is lane number 5, the sophomore Riley Walker. Motaz Kazal is in lane number 3, not too far behind him as well. Lane number 4, Brody Wagley with a half a pool length lead over his teammate. In lane number 6, Nick Crosett. And you take a look there at Wagley as he begins to lap Motaz Kazal in lane number 3. Has a sight set on lane number 5 with Riley Walker, but more importantly has a sight set on a good time, a 47.41 on the split, but a 2:06.43. That's in lane number 3 for Motaz Kazal. 2:16.47 in lane number 6 for Nick Crosett. You see on your screen there, lane number 2 2:23 for Connor Egan. Wegley at the wall. First place right now, 2:39.29. Riley Walker is at 2:48. As Nick Crosett has lapped Riley Walker in second place, but in first still Brody Wegley. Sophomore for Elizabeth Forward. Length number 15 now for Brody Wegley. He's beginning to try and lap his own teammates now. Connor Egan is at the wall. Nick Crosett has about a length on him in second place. Length number 11 for Motaz Kazal. And Riley Walker, length number 13. Seventeenth length of the pool for Brody Wegley. You hear the horn for Wegley, which means his final lap. Final lap of the first place competitor. And Wegley will make the turn, and he'll approach the wall. Brody Wegley, a sophomore for Elizabeth Forward, at the wall. Final time for Wegley, 5:30.13 for the Elizabeth Forward sophomore. Nick Crosett approaching the wall for his final time. And his time for Crosett, 5:53.77. And now finishing things off for Elizabeth Forward. First, second, and third place for the Warriors in lane number 2, the sophomore, Connor Egan. And Egan, 6:23.47. Riley Walker is starting to lose his cap. See it starting to fall off on his head there. That's gotta be annoying, especially getting all that water not only in your hair and having that just kind of awkwardly caught on your goggles, but holding the water in. As Walker will continue to push his final length of the pool. For Riley Walker at the wall. Walker finishes in fourth. Time of 7:24.87, and Motaz Kazal, who was part of the diving segment earlier. Kazal at the wall. He slams the water in happiness. He knows that he's put a really good time for himself there. 7:50.34, but how excited he was. You have to think that's a new personal best for him.
Swimming for Elizabeth forward in lane 4, Sydney Boyd, Allison Lesner, Juliana Egan, and Brooke Yurkovich. And swimming for your Gateway Gators in lane 3, Lydia De Palma, Cheyenne Park, Haley Kurtz, and Samantha Caruso. In lane 5 for the Gators, Addie Hellman, Aaliyah Rossian, Mallory Brown, and Mackenzie Green. McKenna Brown.
So Riley Walker swims a half a length of the pool, and now on to the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay. 3 lanes for this one. 2 lanes of Gateway Gators and 1 Elizabeth Forward Warriors lane. And off of the gate, Sydney Boyd for the Warriors with the lead, right ahead of Addison Hellman. Lydia De Palma right behind her. Boyd and Hellman. Boyd with the slight lead, the freshman. Sydney Boyd at the wall as Allison Glessner will dive in, along with along with Aaliyah Rossian. And now Rossian has picked up the momentum. She's taking the lead. The freshman Aaliyah Rossian, Allison Glessner, the freshman, starting to have a little bit of distance behind Rossian, and Rossian will hit the wall. Glessner will try and get there as well, and diving in, Mallory Brown for the Gators. Juliana Egan in for Elizabeth Forward. About half a pool length lead for Mallory Brown. And Brown will dive in after Brown touches the wall, and now McKenna Brown. Final part of this relay. Brooke Yurkovich. Final part of the relay for Elizabeth Forward. Cheyenne Park has finished her lap. Kaylee Kurtz touching the wall as well, and Samantha Caruso in for the Gators, and at the wall for Gateway. 148.83 in lane number 5. Lane number 4, as Yurkovich touches the wall, 156.12. And now Samantha Caruso will swim the final length here of this relay. Finishing the 4-part relay, Caruso at the wall with a final time for lane number 3 of 2:21.27. That'll bring up the boys' 200-yard freestyle relay. And congratulations to Hellman, Rossian, Brown, and Brown on their win in that event.
Let's go!
Same thing as the girls' side. 2 teams for the Gators, 1 for Elizabeth Forward. Diving in lane number 5, Mark De Palma with the slight lead. Bryce McLaughlin in lane number 4 for Elizabeth Forward. Brandon Kurtz in lane number 3. De Palma gets a nice turn, and McLaughlin right behind him. Kurtz a little bit behind them as well. Caden Gibson will dive in, the junior for Gateway. Ethan Glessner, the senior, in for Elizabeth Forward. Glessner has picked up a little bit from the distance from the lead Otaz Gonzalez dove in for the Gators as well in lane number 3. Gibson and Glessner at the wall, and diving in now, Dallas Richardson in lane number 5, and Matt Vietmeyer. Vietmeyer for Elizabeth forward. Richardson, a strong turn, and he has the lead. Vietmeyer behind him. Adam Pugliano dives in for Gateway, the third swimmer, and now the fourth and final swimmer for lanes 4 and 5. Colton Park for Gateway in lane number 5. Thomas Fine for Elizabeth forward in lane number 4. They are close. They are neck and neck. Final turn and final length of the pool. Park and Fine. Fine has taken a slight lead at the wall. It's a close one, but it's lane number 4, 135.86. It's gonna be Thomas Fine. For the Warriors. As he gets a fist pump from Colton Park. The anchor of that relay team, Thomas Fine, picking up just the slightest bit that they needed to win that one. Congrats, Bryce McLaughlin, Ethan Glessner, Matt Vietmeyer, and Thomas Fine. Riley Walker had dove in and finished his lap as well. 2:09.88 for lane number 3. Now the girls' 100-yard backstroke. Samantha Caruso in lane number 1, Autumn Coobs in lane 2, Paige Whedon in lane number 3, Madison Alessio in 4. Leah Rossian in lane 5, Brooke Yurkovich in lane 6, and Kira Sandor in lane number 7. Lane 6 and lane 5, that's Yurkovich and Rossian with the lead. Lane number 4, Madison Alessio right behind them as well, but lane number 6, Yurkovich on the backstroke, the 100-yard backstroke. Yurkovich will touch and make the turn. And push off of the wall, Yurkovich. Madison Alessio has picked up a little bit on Aaliyah Rossian. Paige Weenand in lane number 3 in 4th place. 5th place, Kira Sandor in lane 7. But making the final turn in lane number 6, Brooke Yurkovich. And Yurkovich will get to the wall and win this event. At the wall, final time for her, 1:07.04. Rossian finishes 1:11.24. Madison Alessio, 1:13.56. 4th place, 1:18.96 is lane number 3, Paige Weenand. 5th place, 1:21.84 for Kira Sandor. Now neck and neck between 1 and 2 lanes. At the wall, it will be lane number 2, Autumn Coobs, the junior. And the junior, Samantha Caruso, with 1:44.50 and 1:45.48. Congratulations to lane number 6 right there. The winner, Brooke Yurkovich of that heat, or that event, excuse me. The referees they're talking things over real quick. Now they're talking with the scorers table. We have from lane 2 through 7. Brian Lynn in lane number 2 in the boys 100-yard backstroke. Ben Etchegaray in lane number 3. Ethan Glessner in lane number 4. Mark DePalma in lane 5. Tyler Johnson in lane number 6. And Adam Pugliano in lane number 7.
And swimming for you, Gateway Gators in lane 3, Ben Etchegaray. In lane 5, Palma.
So Lynn, Glessner, and Johnson for Elizabeth forward. Etchegaray, DePalma, and Pugliano for Gateway. Off the wall, and it's lane number 5 with the slight lead. Very long time under the water there for Mark DePalma. Ethan Glessner is right behind him in lane number 4. And in lane number 3, it's Ben Etchegaray, who also has a pretty good backstroke as well. 4th, 5th, and 6th, there's 6, 7, and lanes 2. Of Johnson, Pugliano, and Lynn, but it's now Gateway who has taken 1st and 2nd. Etchegaray has passed Glessner, but DePalma still with the lead. Final turn for DePalma. Mark DePalma, the senior for the Gators. Now Glessner's trying to get 2nd place back, but Etchegaray has it for the time being, and DePalma at the wall. Final time for DePalma, 1 minute, just shy over the 1 minute exact mark, 48 100ths of a second. A 1:03 for Ben Etchegaray, and a 1:04.20 for Glessner. And in fourth place, is lane number 6, Tyler Johnson. Adam Pugliano in lane number 7. And Brian Lynn will finish his backstrokes. And here the coaches for both sides, Gateway's coaches even, trying to cheer on Brian Lynn, as Lynn will touch the wall. A final time of 2:02.99 for Lynn. Give you a score update real quick while we have some time. It's the boys' side, Elizabeth Ford, with a 71-61 lead. The girls' side for Gateway, 95-52. As event number 21. Girls 100-yard breaststroke. 7 lanes being used. Cheyenne Park in lane 1, Allison Glessner in lane 2, Kaylee Kurtz in lane 3, Sydney Boyd in lane 4, Gianna Laurenti in lane 5, Juliana Egan in lane 6, and Lydia DePalma in lane 7. 5 freshmen and 2 sophomores in this event, and it's lane number 5. Gianna Laurenti, the sophomore, with the lead. Lane number 4, Sydney Boyd, is the first Elizabeth forward swimmer. Right behind her is Allison Glessner in lane number 2. Lydia DePalma at the wall, second for the Gators. Correction, there's actually 3 Elizabeth forward warriors. Lane number 6, Juliana Egan, is in third right now. Kaylee Kurtz is in 6th. And in 7th is in lane number 1, Cheyenne Park. We're on the 100-yard breaststroke at the wall for Gateway, who will win the event. It is lane number 5, Gianna Laurenti for Gateway, a 1:12.63. A close one for second place, but it's lane number 2, Allison Glessner, with a 1:24.74. Or correction, a 1:19.40 in lane number 4. Who finished second, Sydney Boyd. Third was Glessner, the 1:24.74. 1:25.55 for lane number 6. In fourth place, Juliana Egan. Fifth place was lane number 7, Lydia DePalma, 1:35.27. And in seventh, lane number 3, Kaylee Kurtz for the Gators. And number 22.
Go, Brandon.
Final single event in this one. It's the 100-yard breaststroke. Brendan Kurtz is in lane number 3. The older brother of Kaylee Kurtz. Thomas Fine in lane number 4. Owen Echegaray in lane number 5. Nathan Pizzuto in lane number 6. And it's lane number 5 with the lead, Owen Echegaray, the junior. Thomas Fine, the senior, in lane number 4 right behind him. Echegaray got a good turn. Fine about a person length behind him. Third place is close between Kurtz and Pizzuto. But Echegaray has now taken a bit more of a lead on the final turn and the final push here in the 100-yard breaststroke. Owen Echegaray for the Gators will get to the wall. Thomas Fine will touch as well, 1:05.50 for Owen Echegaray, and a close one here for third. You can hear the fans cheering both of them on. Nathan Pizzuto will just get to the wall, and in fourth place, Brandon Kurtz for the Gators. And now, the final events for both of these sides. One of the most exciting events in this one, the 400-yard freestyle relay. We'll start with the girls. And thank you for tuning in here on Gateway Gators Productions. I'm Spencer Witt. Three different lanes in this one. 2 for the Gators and 1 for the Warriors. Paige Wyden is in lane 3. Paige Kessler is in lane 5. Those are for Gateway. For Elizabeth Forward, it's Emma Leach who is in lane 4, and it's Wyden with the lead in lane number 3. A good turn, though, from Paige Kessler, and she has the lead now. Wyden behind her, and Emma Leach behind them as well, not too far behind. Kessler now still out and ahead. Paige Wyden, the senior, behind them as well. Emma Leach, the sophomore for the Warriors. At the wall, diving in for lane number 5. It is Kira Sandor. Cheyenne McMullen is dove in for Gateway, and also for Elizabeth Forward, it's Mia Smith. Kira Sandor. sophomore for Gateway in lane number 5. Sandor's pushing hard here as the second swimmer. Mia Smith has passed Cheyenne Park for the second position. Sandor will come to the wall as the second swimmer. And Addie Hellman, the junior, waiting to dive in herself, and she will. Addie Hellman making some splashes with her feet as she is the third leg of this relay. Madison Alessio has dove in for Elizabeth forward. Samantha Caruso in for the Gators. Hellman, the junior for Gateway. The third swimmer as Gianna Laurenti, the sophomore, is on the block and getting ready to dive in herself. Diving in now is Gianna Laurenti. For the fourth and final leg of this relay. Jayla Ringbloom will dive in for the Warriors. And a final lap for lane number 5. Gianna Laurenti makes the turn. Now as Samantha Caruso gets to the wall, that'll bring in Alicia McMullen for the anchor of lane number 3. As Gianna Laurenti has hit the wall, 4:19.92 for lane number 5 in the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay. It's Kessler, Sandor, Hellman, and Laurenti will take that one. And now finishing off their part of the relay is Jayla Ringbloom, the freshman for Elizabeth forward. And Ringbloom will touch the wall for the second place in this one. Time it did not register on the scoreboard for lane number 4. There it is. Finally comes up now. 5:21.01. And Alicia McMullen making the final lap here in this one for the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay, and final lap for all girls events here on this Thursday evening in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Alicia McMullen she keeps swimming here. Final length of the pool. And McMullen at the wall for the Gators, finishing out lane number 3. And we see the winner there, lane number 5, Gianna Laurenti, who is the anchor of that relay. Final time, 6:19.29 for lane number 3.
This is event 24, the boys 400-yard freestyle.
Now the 24th event, as you take a look at the scores. You see the girls' side for Gateway, commanding lead, and Elizabeth Forward with the lead. Only a couple points though, 83-80. One team for Gateway. 2 for Elizabeth Forward. Dallas Richardson got a really good jump off of the block for Gateway. First swimmer in lane number 5 for them. In lane number 4, Matt Vietmeyer, the sophomore. Nathan Pizzuto is in lane number 6 for Elizabeth Forward. Now Johnson will take the turn. Or excuse me, Richardson will take the turn. Vietmeyer's right behind him. Vietmeyer's older brother will be diving in, Garrett. And for the Gators, it's Ben Etchegary who dives in lane number 5, the junior. Etchegary with the lead for the Gators. That's Brody Wagley, my apologies, who was in first for Elizabeth Forward. He's starting to pick up a little bit of the distance between him and Etchegary, but Etchegary still has the lead. Crowsit is in now for Elizabeth Forward in lane number 6. And Owen Etchegary, or Ben Etchegary, excuse me, his twin brother will be the anchor and the 4th person in this event. It'll be Caden Gibson who will be diving in for Gateway, and for Elizabeth Forward, now it'll be Garrett Vietmeyer. Gibson dives in, Vietmeyer in as well for Elizabeth Forward. And a hard charge now from Caden Gibson. Gibson pushes now, the distance a little bit greater with Gibson as he is moving. Diving in now is Tyler Johnson in lane number 6. Gibson is in and pushing for the Gators as he takes the turn, the final length of the pool for him. Gibson will keep going, and now Owen Etchegary, the twin brother of Ben, will dive in for the Gators. Hunter Egan will be in for Elizabeth Forward. And Owen is moving now. 3 minutes gone by so far in this event. Brian Lynn will be diving in lane number 6, but making the final turn, Owen Etchegary. The distance is now half the length of the pool, but Etchegary will get to the wall in lane number 5, and the Gators will take this event 3:39.09. For the Gators, lane number 4, Honor Egan touches the wall, 3:51.39. For Elizabeth Forward, and the final swimmer here in this one. And it will be Brian Lynn, who will push forward. Lynn will take his turn. for Brian Lynn. You can see his teammates on the girls' side cheering him on. Final length of the pool here in this event. Lynn will continue to push. Be it in that one as Lynn touches the wall. 5-16-15 here in this one.
Final score for the girls.
And that will be all she wrote. So the boys' side, it's an 89-88 win for the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. And on the girls' side, it's Gateway, a 95-65 victory in that one. And that will be all she wrote here in this one. Real quick, just want to say thank you so much for tuning in for our entire broadcasting crew, for our producer Adam Gusky, our director Lee Schaefer III, and our camera operators Adam Gusky and Lee Schaefer II. I'm Spencer Witt saying so long, and thank you so much for tuning in. Next Gateway Gators Productions will be a doubleheader, girls and boys basketball next Tuesday. Don't want to miss that one as well. Thank you for tuning in again here on Gateway Gators Productions. Good night, everybody.